Hi everyone, welcome back to class. In today's tutorial, we want to learn about alignment ribbon group in Microsoft Excel 365. Alignment ribbon group is found under Home ribbon tab. So looking at this alignment ribbon group, there are some button commands we are going to look at one by one. Starting from the first one, we are going to look at the align left button command under alignment ribbon group. What this command button does is to make sure that highlighted texts or numbers are aligned to the left. As I told you before now, Excel aligns every text to the left. That means this text has left alignment formatting. So whether I click this button or not, you will not see any difference because automatically or by default, Excel aligns texts to the left. Now looking at the next one, center align. If I select this range of cells with the data therein, and then come to my alignment ribbon group and select or click center, you will discover that your texts, instead of being aligned to the left by as the default was, is now aligned to the center. And then we move to the next one, right align. As the name implies, when I select this range of texts and come to my alignment ribbon group and click align right, it aligns every text on the highlighted range to the right. So those are the functionalities of these three buttons. The next alignment we want to talk about is the top align, the middle align, and the bottom align. Now let's come down to this section of the data set. Top align. Before we can truly see the effect of top align or middle align or bottom align, we need to increase the row heights of this data set. So how do I do that? I will just come here and click on the row number and drag down to highlight the entire row. And then I take my cursor outside of the cells to where I have my row numbers. And looking at it, you'll see that my cursor has changed to a cross with upper and lower arrow. So you can reduce, that means that you can either reduce the height of the cells, you can see what is happening, or increase the height of the cell. Hopefully you understand that. Let me increase it a little bit more. All right. So right now, you can see also that by default, Excel places text at the bottom part of the cell. That means by default, Excel uses the bottom alignment here. Nevertheless, a user can decide to say, no, I want to align my texts to the top after increasing the row height. And that is very simple to do. Highlight the cell range you want to align to the top. Come to alignment ribbon group and select top align. Immediately you see that these texts are no more aligned to the bottom. They are now aligned to the top. The same thing is applicable to middle align. If I highlight this cell range under middle align and I come down to middle align command button and click it, you will see that the texts are aligned to the middle. You can see the space left at the top and the space at the bottom are the same. Same thing is applicable to all the cells here. So that's how to align middle, or that's how to carry out middle alignment. The next one is bottom alignment, which I told you is the default. So if I select this cell range, you can see already that the bottom align button is already on. So whether I click it or not, you will not see the difference because Excel aligns to the bottom of the cell by default. So that's how to know the difference between the 6 alignment buttons that we have here. Align left, align center, align right, top align, middle align, and bottom align. Hopefully that is understood. Class, I hope that is well understood. All right. Thank you very much. So we can say that what we did here is the vertical alignment, while what we did here is horizontal alignment. We can decide to combine these alignments, both horizontal and vertical alignment, to give us a different set of results. Let's say, for example, we copy what we did here, and then we come here and paste them. Remember how to copy and paste. Right now, this is aligned to the bottom. You can see it here. This is bottom and left. I can decide to make it align to the bottom and to the center by clicking center. You can see that it is aligned to the bottom and the texts are in the center of each of the cells they occupy. I can decide to say, okay, this one is center aligned and bottom aligned. I want it to align to the middle. So I will click my middle align command button and it takes those texts to the middle of the cells. Lastly, I can also decide to combine this. This very one is aligned to the right and then to the bottom. You can see the two of them here. You can say no. I want my text to be aligned to the right, horizontally, and to the middle, vertically. And how will I do that? Just to come here and click middle align. You can see that the text is aligned to the right and also is in the middle of the cell. Hopefully that is understood. So we can actually combine two of these alignments at a time to apply to our texts. I hope that is understood, class. All right, very good. Now, let's look at orientation button command, which is this button here, still under alignment ribbon group. You can see this button with A, B, and a diagonal line with arrow facing up. That is exactly what will happen if I highlight this row and click that button. So if I want my text to be diagonally aligned, I will come and click down here and pick this angle counterclockwise. All right, let us do it here in this column. So this is angle counterclockwise. I click and select my range of text or range of cells, sorry. I come here and select angle counterclockwise. The alignment of the text is now in angle counterclockwise. The same thing is applicable if I want it to be in angle clockwise. This time around, the text will face down. So when I click angle clockwise, you see that you can read the text from the top down, while this one is from the down, upward. The next one is vertical text. Just as the name implies, it will turn these texts and give them the orientation, give them vertical orientation. This is what it does. Now you can see that the text is now in vertical orientation. The next one is rotate text up. This way, the text can be read from bottom to the top. So if I select my range and I come to orientation button and click and select rotate text up, it will turn my text. You can see it. The texts you have in these cells have been turned or rotated upward. If I don't want it to be aligned right here, remember our center align. So you can see what happens now. Because of this center align, it takes it from where it was and then brings it to the center. The next one is rotate text down. And if I apply it to this range of cell, watch what happens. Rotate text down. The text turns downward and you can read the text from the top downward. Remember, I can also use my center align to bring it to the middle for readability. The next one right there is format cell alignment. This will bring up this text dialog box for me to do whatever I want to do here. Let me cancel it and highlight or select the particular range of text that I want to receive this command. I can come to my orientation and click format cell alignment, and it comes up with this dialog box. Right here, I can use this place to drag my text upward or downward. The way the text that you have in this box turns That is exactly what you will see if I click OK. Let's see. Currently is at -15. You can see what has happened. I can centralize it so you understand it. You see that this is tilted downward by 15 degrees. So you can customize how you want to rotate your text. Yes, you can actually customize it. I hope you understand. I can also do the same thing right here. Highlighting or selecting my cell range right here. I go back to my orientation button again for my cell alignment. This time around, the other time, this row, this column, sorry, was 15% or -15. So I can make this one right now to be 30. The way this text turns, immediately I click OK. That is the same thing you will see happening to this text right here. You can see it. So you can actually customize the way you want the orientation of your text to be if you don't want to use any of these predefined orientation. So that's all about that orientation command button. This is what it does. So you can practice them and really understand them. So at any point in time you want to use it, you can use it very well. I hope that is understood, class. Is that understood? Okay. Hi class, I hope we are together. At this moment, we want to talk about indentation in alignment ribbon group. Now, if you look at this little data set, you can see that all the data that you have here are aligned to the left. As in the margin is 0. Right? So, for example, this is the original position at the 0 point. Now, we want to look at how to increase indentation and also decrease indentation. It is very simple. If I don't want this data set or this range of data to start right at the 0 margin, I can give indentation to this data by coming to increase indentation. When I click, you see that the left margin is increased. The more I click, the more it increases. The more I click, the more it increases. I can continue with that until it gets to the right and even beyond. So when I want to decrease, I can also do same. The more I click, the more it reduces the left margin. Right? This is not to say that it is the same thing as center alignment. No. So here I can also increase. We want to leave this one at increase indentation to maybe somewhere about here. And then for television, for this range of cells, we can increase, all right, and then decrease it a bit close to the left, not at the 0 margin, but maybe to 1 indentation, right? So we have indented this one just once. by clicking increase. You can increase and decrease, right? Increase. Assuming this was here, I can decrease it using this decrease indentation. Hopefully that is understood. Class, is that understood? Yeah, it's not difficult. Yes, just as simple as that. Highlight the range of cell or the cell that you want to indent. Come here and increase your indentation if you want to increase, and then decrease indentation if you want to decrease. That's just all about those two buttons. Decrease indent and increase indent. I hope that is understood, class. All right, thank you very much. You have to practice these things so you'll be okay with them. Thank you. Now let's look at wrap texts. The wrap text command button actually does what its title suggests. For example, I have my text here. This is Excel plus data analytics class. This is occupied by one cell only. If I type anything here, say H, you will discover that part of this text is cut off or is hidden. Right? Now, how do I bring this out? How do I see the whole texts that are here? The first way is to click and drag the width of the column to be larger to accommodate the whole text in one line. But that is not our aim here. So let me undo it. Our aim is to allow the width to remain the same, but let the text in this cell wrap downward or vertically. So when I click right here, you can see everything that is in that text on the formula bar. But we want it wrapped in this position. So what do? Put your cursor right there. Or if the cells are more than one, you can highlight all the cells before you give this command. Right now, we only have one cell. So what do? I make sure that I click on the cell that carries the text. And then I will come to my wrap text button command and click. You can see that the text is being wrapped in the same cell into 3 lines. And that is how to wrap text in Microsoft Excel. I hope you understand. Class, do you understand? All right, good to know that you understand. Thank you. Now, let's look at merge and center. That is this button right here. It has a drop down with other options. Merge and center, merge across, merge cells, and then on merge cells. Right? I'm still going to use this text once again. Remember, this text is right at A59. That is the name of this cell. Here has nothing. Here has nothing. But you discover that the text is across 3 cells. Now, what do we do? As I told you before, if I type anything in this text, say a dot, you will discover that there was nothing in this cell. Okay? So now, let me remove the dot. Let it go across again. So if I see that my text is running across 1, 2, and 3 columns, and I want it merged, I want these 3 columns merged to become one. What I will do is to select the 3 columns, and I come to my merge and center and click. Now you can see what it does. Merge and center merges the 3. It merges the 3 columns and centralizes the text within it. I hope that is understood. So you can see that this text is centralized. All right, now let's look at merge across. If I want to select a range of cells and merge them across, it is very simple to do it. I want to select from here down here and then continue with about 4 rows. So I want to merge across these rows. What it does is it will merge each row and gives me 1 row, 1 column for each of them. It will merge these rows. Instead of 1, 2, 3, it will merge this into 1, the second one into 1, the third one into 1, and the fourth one into 1. Let's see how it works. Come here to your merge and center button, click and drop down, select merge across. Now watch what happens. The 3 cells are merged into 1. This one merged into 1. In this row, you merge into 1, and the last one merged into 1. So what it means is that you can actually select multiple rows and merge them across to become single rows or single columns. Like now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I click merge across, it will merge the whole of this into 1, merge the whole of this into 1, and so on. Look at it. You see? So it merges this into 1. This is now 1 cell. This is now 1 cell, 1 cell, 1 cell, and so on. So that's how merge across works. Remember that this text is still in 1 cell, but it goes across, just like we saw before. So if I want to merge these cells, these 2 to 1, without centralizing it, the option I will select is merge cells. The cell will remain, the text in the cell will remain left aligned. The 2 cells are merged, but the content remains left aligned. The 2 cells are merged, but the content is left aligned. The last option in merge and center is the unmerged cells. Just as the name implies, when you select any merged cells or any merged cell, when you select anywhere you merged cells, you can unmerge the cells and return it to the default. Now let's do that. From here, I can highlight down and then come to my image and center and drop it down, click and drop down and click, select on merge here, select and click on merge. You will see that the cells are back to their default state. So hopefully that is well understood, class. Is that understood? Any question? All right, so that's well understood. Let's look at some of the options you have in the dialog box in the alignment ribbon group. So when you click this, you can see that there are other options. We are in alignment tab here, and right here you see horizontal and vertical, just like what I told you before now about the alignment. But when you click here, you will see fill, justify, and then the one we've not talked about is distributed. We've not talked about fill, we've not talked about justify, and we've not talked about distributed. Now, how do they work? Let's go back to our spreadsheet. If I type A in this cell and I want to fill the A throughout this cell up to this point, I can use that fill. Let's see how it works. When you click your dialog launcher, it launches this dialog box. And of course, we are in alignment. So if I click under horizontal, when you drop down, click and drop down, and click or select fill, and click OK, watch what happens. A will be filled in that cell. Did you see that? If I type B, you can see that. If I type C, and then highlight up to this point, why you see this B automatically filled is because I've already selected the fill, selected these cells up to this point when there was nothing, and typed B. When there was nothing, and so immediately I type B, it fills throughout those range of cells. So like this one now, let me demonstrate what I just said. If I click here, select up to this point, and come to my alignment ribbon group and click the dialog launcher and select fill here and click OK. You can see that there is nothing here. But the moment I type any text here, it will fill it up to where I highlighted. Let's watch. I type C here and press enter. Did you see that? So that's what happened to this B here. Hopefully that is well understood. Let us look at the next option in the dialog box. Let's see this example. We have this long text here in this cell. If I come and wrap the text by clicking wrap text, you'll see that the text is wrapped in that single cell. The alignment here is left aligned, right? There is another alignment called justify, and that alignment, what it does is to make sure that it aligns both left and then the right, and make sure that they start at the same place and then end at the same place, right? Apart from the last line, if it's not up to a full, if it does not have up to full length of words to be aligned or justified. So how does that work? This is it. Click on the dialog launcher to launch this dialog. Under horizontal, click and select justify and click OK. You can see that my text is stretched. to justify. Do you understand? All right. The next one we want to talk about is center across selection. So what center across selection does is, if I select these three columns, A, B, C, and I go to my dialog box launcher and click and launch it, under horizontal alignment, text alignment, I click center across selection. What it does is that it will center the text across the selection, but it will not merge the cells. It will not merge the cells, right? What you are looking at is the result of center across selection. It seems as if the cells are merged, but they are not. You can prove that by clicking the different cells here. It only centers the text across those three cells that I selected. So that's how it works. Now let's talk about distribute indent or distributed indent. What that command does is to stretch this text to make sure that it is distributed both to the left and right. That is, it forces it to align to the left and to the right. Watch what happens. I click my dialog launcher, and then under text alignment, in horizontal alignment, I select distributed indent. Let's see. When I click OK, watch what happens to the text. It stretches the text to align both to the left and to the right. If I do the same action here, watch what happens. Can you see that the last line of this text is distributed, is stretched to the right hand side of this text, is stretched to align, to justify. That is what distributed indent does. So in the same vein, if you look at the vertical text alignment, you will also have such options, the justify and the distributed. It will do the same thing that we have demonstrated, but this time around in a vertical orientation. It will distribute it vertically. So I want you to try that by yourself and then watch the results of justify vertically and then distributed vertically. The last but not the least we are going to talk about is the shrink text. Let's say I have this text. Let me copy and paste it here or here. You can see the text splits, or the text spills across both sides, and I want it to be fixed. I don't want it to cross any boundaries, right? I want it to remain in the same cell, but let every text fit into the cell. What I will do is to come to my dialog launcher and click, and then I enable or check shrink to fit. You see that text is automatically shrinked to fit. So this is shrink to fit functionality that you can make use of anytime you are in need of this kind of functionality. Class, I hope you understand what we've just learned. Please, if you don't understand, you can ask questions. But if you do understand, let us also know. Is it well understood? Or I'm glad it is understood. Thank you very much.